this Bucks team is something else. Like what we went back and forth in it, and like a lot of times, like in the Nets series, the Hawks series, and even those two games in the Sun series. Like this
Bro, you
team,
had them in 4.
yeah, yeah.
Like that was your
That
joke
that was
one, but
my
still.
thing. I was like Suns in four. They
Yeah.
came back after that. I gotta give them props. It's just like you count this team out, they keep coming back. They make adjustments, they adapt on the fly, and they just get back.
Yeah.
There was so many points in the playoffs where I'm just like, I wish the Hawks put them out their misery. I wish the Nets put them out their misery. It, there's no fan of the Bucks that can sit there and say I was delighted throughout of how this Bucks team played because they went through shit. And I think that's what makes this championship special for them. They went through the ups and downs, the having to adjust, and even dating back to last year with that Miami Heat series, they had to come into this season and they had to make adjustments not only on the offensive end but also defensively. And I feel like they made those changes and it came in handy with the play in the playoffs because the biggest thing now is that it's not going to be player to player defense. Defense is all team based.
Yeah.
Like you got to have different coverages. You got to be able to go into zone. You got to be able to switch up now. You got to be able to just have a versatile defense. And you can see at times the Bucks went into, Giannis at the 5 and they ran him and PJ Tucker and they were able to make stuff happen with that. So I just think those adjustments for this Bucks team from the beginning of the season to now is what made them champions. Is they've been through the stuff in the past, they've been through the stuff in these playoffs, but they still got back and they won it, man. They won it. So
Yeah. I The whole adjustment thing is so funny to me
it is.
because
It is.
Mike Budenholzer is known to not make adjustments, and I feel like in in this playoffs he finally listened to people, not in the sense that like he started making adjustments, but kind of like he did like the Ty Lue thing. Like Ty Lue against the Mavericks was weird, and even against the Jazz, it was weird because they came out and they played like their regular season team and tried to be big, and then they lost, and it was weird because you were like, "What are you doing? Just make these adjustments." And then like in game 3 and 4, the Clippers were this whole different team, and it was great. And then the next series against the Jazz, they reverted back to being weird, and then they waited to game 3 and 4 to actually play a winning brand of basketball. I feel like the Bucks did that and kind of played a weird brand of basketball for the entire playoffs and then changed in the NBA finals. Like they tricked everybody. Like they pulled a fast one on everybody by like, oh, we can't play this way. We can't play this way through the whole
Completely
NBA
switch it up.
final. Yeah. And like they caught breaks in order that they really didn't have to switch enough in the playoffs. Like James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Trey Young. Like I'm not saying that that's excuses or anything like that, but they didn't really have to. They could play their same brand of basketball the whole playoffs, got to NBA finals, realized that, oh, maybe we should play Giannis at the 5. And then they did it. And yeah,
I know Coach Bud is gonna got a lot of heat. Listen, like looking at their path to getting there,
he got the job
oh,
done.
but the job wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like I know he had to be up all night having to game plan how he's gonna try and handle KD, Kyrie. Harden, some of them got injured, so it kind of made his life easier. But I knew
Yeah.
he was up at night when their backs were against the wall in those games. And I knew Coach Bud had to be, you know, kind of wary when they had to go against the Atlanta Hawks because they were at least giving them something. They were giving them a series. And then
Yeah.
especially with these first two games, like when you look at it, those series just wasn't easy because you have the best scorers. You have Trey Young, KD, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Trying to stop those guys, that's a team effort. And it's gonna take a lot. You're gonna get beat, but then you're gonna have to figure out a way to get back at it. I give like some parts Coach Bud wasn't perfect, but I give him credit for at least getting his team there and having them understand the mission of what they need to do on defense, what they need to do on offense, and they were able to get to those points and win. It's
Yeah.
not easy, and it's not something that if I was a coach or if you were a coach or someone on like Twitter or something was a coach, that's hard to figure out having to guard all those guys and limit shots. And if a Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton isn't on, then that kind of makes your job harder. It's a tough job for a coach, but and I think some people need to realize a little bit of that before they're just like, oh, fire him, fire him, fire him. Wasn't easy. This road wasn't easy for the Bucks. I will be the first one to say that for them.